Hey,
Uh,
¿cómo vamos, gente? Buenas tardes, noches, días, madrugadas, donde sea que estén.
primeros
Bienvenidos a Amigo
desayunos,
Tech.
segundos desayunos.
Los hobbits definitivamente saben cómo vivir.
Eso sí. Hecho.
¿Alguna vez te has preguntado exactamente qué tan eficientes son en la producción de alimentos los hobbits, que pueden darse el lujo de tener múltiples desayunos, almuerzo, merienda, cena? S- Hermano, la producción de comida debe ser gigantesca.
Pues por eso están ahí en el Shire, ¿no? Hay bastante plantitas para hacer, como decías antes, un lucro de papas.
Ah, sí.
Uh, for those of you who don't know, it's one of the national dishes of Pablo's country, Honduras. I'm sorry, Honduras,
¿Honduras?
Ecuador, Honduras.
I
No sé por qué
wish.
estoy pensando de Honduras. No sé qué pasó en Honduras. Oh my gosh, sorry. Ecuador. Yeah, I was shifting Pablo into a country that has power that stays on all the time.
They have electricity. I want to go to
Electricity.
Honduras.
You know, the bastion of cosmopolity. Yeah.
Ay, ay. For those that don't know, my country right now is in absolute chaos. Emerson, feliz miércoles.
Feliz miércoles,
Debut.
primo. Debut in the house.
My country is kind in chaos, so electricity is scarce, and there's a lot of corruption and even drug trafficking in the mix. On the electricity, my president decided that tomorrow we won't work because there's not enough energy. Also, half of our electric bill will be covered by the state because maybe the energy went to other means. I have no idea what's going on. It's really stupid. It's really ridiculous, and I'm enjoying it.
It's
Let
funny
chaos
because
begin.
when uh, when Pablo says of the means, he's doing the air quotes.
No, it's like the Joker's face. Everything has a punchline.
Right.
So yeah, we are living in the punchline of my country.
So everybody, please pray for Pablo and pray for Ecuador that everything kind of helps. Get stuff helping over there because it's wow.
Do what I
Una,
cannot do. Waste electricity. Just waste electricity randomly. I don't care.
yeah.
Enjoy your energy. Life is
Plug
good
your
with
hair
energy.
dryers.
Hablando de secadoras de pelo, hermano.
Ajá.
¿Qué tal si hablamos de un calvito?
Un caldito, no un calvito. Vamos a ver. Dale.
Okay. Pauli, can you share?
All right.
Ok, ya mismo.
Okay.
Aquí vamos.
Okay.
¿Han escuchado?
Nice job.
Thank you.
Si no han escuchado últimamente, mi filosofía es todo lo que amo está muerto, así que déjenlo arder. Esta es otra de las cosas que amo. Adivinen qué. Va a morir.
No, Pablo, ¿no
Ah,
escuchaste que va a ser un gran show? Porque hay talento, hay talento.
para los que no sepan qué es One Punch Man, One Punch Man es originalmente un webcómic hecho por un artista llamado One, que salió con la peor calidad de dibujo que se puedan imaginar en la vida, pero era una de las mejores historias que se puedan imaginar. Así que un mangaka reconocido le escribió a One, le dijo, yo puedo hacer los dibujos, tú solamente sigue escribiendo la historia y ganamos de ahí. El manga fue increíblemente exitoso, hasta el punto que estaba en el primer lugar en ventas durante meses. Después de eso, decidieron hacer el anime. El anime es fenomenal, al menos la primera temporada es fenomenal, es una de las cosas más divertidas que puedan ver. Si es que alguien les quiere decir inclusión y esas babosadas, adivinen qué. One Punch Man tiene un personaje que es loca, 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 que es un superhéroe, pero está metido en la cárcel porque cada vez que ve a un hombre bonito le abre la baticueva. Guiño, guiño. Es, es absolutamente ridículo, es absolutamente fantástico. One Punch Man debe ser una de las historias más divertidas que hay. El personaje Saitama puede derrotar a cualquier enemigo con un solo golpe y por lo tanto está aburrido de la vida,
But
porque si es que no hay realmente emoción en una batalla, ¿para qué peleas? Y su vida es literalmente las batallas se acaban en un golpe, así que no hay nada que él pueda hacer como superhéroe para tener diversión como superhéroe, pero no hay nada que él pueda hacer para tener un trabajo normal tampoco, así que tiene que ser un superhéroe. Lo cual nos lleva a la pregunta del millón, ¿cómo lo van a arruinar? For those, I was talking on Spanish about this. Well, One Punch Man is a manga, a web comic originally created by One, a web comic artist on Japan. Then, because of the popularity of the web comic that was really poorly drawn, a mangaka decided to contact him to make business to create a newer version of his work with actual good drawings because the original drawings were absolute garbage.
yep.
And that version of the manga became so popular that it was promptly picked up for a animation series. It started selling a lot of merchandising, and it was great. The animation came out and it was absolutely fantastic for the first season. The second season has some influences, and I think it is also money from Netflix. I'm not really sure, but at the time, Netflix picked up the rights and they were fast tracking everything for the production. And well, the series, well, it became a huge deal. It was one of the most popular animes of the time. The manga was also one of the most popular mangas of the time. Eh, and well deserved because the story is absolutely fantastic. It's about this guy that was an office guy. He gets his superpowers and he decides to become a superhero. But because of his superpowers, he can defeat any enemy in one punch. That's the title, One Punch Man. So, because of his ability to just absolutely destroy any enemy, he's bored. He's bored as hell, but also he's not going back to just an office job. So he's basically stuck on being a superhero.
Yeah, in this world,
Which,
superheroes are kind of like government employees. You
yeah,
know.
there's superheroes everywhere. Also,
Right.
there's a first episode, there's a reference for El Chapulín Colorado.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
there
not
is.
joking.
It's so cool. It's so cool.
There's references for Marvel heroes, for DC heroes,
Yeah.
for heroes on even Dark Horse. There's references to heroes on Korea, on mythology. There's
Yeah.
a lot of really crazy stuff. But one of the heroes, and also one of the top heroes of this universe, is a guy that is on prison because every time he sees a pretty boy or any man that is hot, he basically tries to open his mind
Yes.
and other parts of his body,
Yeah.
and that's played as a joke.
It has a
Puri
lot of
Vision,
quirky humor, just
yeah,
like most Japanese hyper Japanese shows have, and it really
Is
plays well. The jokes are hilarious. Everything's funny. It's almost like uh, what would be the life of Superman knowing that he has no equal. Basically, nothing can hurt him. So he's just going through life like a mundane life. If he didn't have like his family structure and his alter ego and all stuff, he was just
Mhm.
Superman, and it does it better than anything and all stuff. Oh my gosh,
This is the one that I'm
Puri!
talking about. Is
Yeah,
Puri Puri Prisoner.
it has Puri Puri Prisoner is actually representation, folks. The show actually has representation and diversity and inclusion. So so it's got everything. But this is the problem. The problem is it's Japanese humor. And what we're worried about is that it's going to be turned into American humor. Even though I know that a lot of people have been talking about this, a lot of people online have been talking about this, and the one of the issues I guess is that they said that the guy from Community's writing, who's a good writer, who I
Rick and
guess wrote,
Morty.
yeah, so he
That's
wrote
the issue.
Rick and Morton and all stuff, and the first season Rick and Morton was good and all stuff. But the issue is that Japanese humor is a distinct humor. It's a reason why Latin America loves Japanese shows, especially anime and manga, because the jokes, the self-deprecating jokes, and the risque jokes are very much every single comic and TV show in Latin America. It's word for, I mean, literally every trope that you see in Japanese anime and manga, you see it in, if you watch any of our TV shows from Latin America, you will see that trope.
I
And
will
it's
put it like this. Okay, it's really simple. When your life is so hard that it's basically impossible to make anything in fiction be worse than your life, you start enjoying jokes about the most terrible things that you can ever imagine. And that's the mentality from Latin America. Is this is funny? Why? Because at least it's not my life.
yeah,
So yeah, this in Latin America is huge. One Punch Man is absolutely fantastic. Is crazy over the top. The fights are amazing. The jokes are great. The level of craziness that you see on the screen all the time is wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
yeah,
And the real fear about this is that because there's people that have worked on Rick and Morty, and is the same people that have destroyed the Marvel movies. For those who don't know, a lot of the people that worked on Rick and Morty became writers for the Marvel universe, for especially the Marvel TV series or streaming series, and for the movies. And this is the people that destroyed the MCU, that created the MCU. For example, the lady behind Pickle Rick is the lady behind, well, She Hulk, the dumpster fire that is absolutely terrible. You cannot really watch it without feeling ill, without feeling sick. Well, she may be connected to this. We don't know how many people will go from the Rick and Morty stuff. We know that Dan Harmon is in the mix, and he was not good. I will say, the I think
I like
season one and
Community.
two.
I like some of the Community stuff. I think Community lost me at season 4 or 5. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I enjoy some of his stuff. I just know Pablo. How's he gonna get Japanese humor though?
that's the thing. I don't know. I don't believe they will get the Japanese humor. And the Japanese humor, for example, plays a lot with transsexuality and with gayness because, well, it's fun. It's just
As a
that it's fun.
joke, right? As a
It's
serious
yeah,
and as a joke. So you can't. It's like you're gonna offend it. If they treat it like the first season of Community, it could work. If
Mhm.
they treat it to like the later seasons of Community, it's not gonna work. And this is not, it's an action and a comedy. It's full on. The jokes have to land. I think for all the other stuff, to land. But what do you think
Well,
of Justin Lin? I mean, Justin Lin, could
yeah,
be like a good thing for it, but oh man, I don't know.
dude, the thing is that they need to understand that this is a gag manga. This is originally a joke manga. It's a manga created to make fun of everything related to any topic that is on page. So if you are talking about male baldness, you are not going on, oh, poor this guy, is a joke about him being bald.
Yeah,
And the
children making
whole,
fun of him. Yeah,
yeah, if you are making a joke about somebody liking a man, you will go all the way. You will not just make him having a crush, you will make him an stalker, and probably worse, if you know what I mean. Because if you overstand to that point, the joke becomes funnier. There's a point where you should stop a joke because it will be too horrible, too terrible, and a lot of people will get offended. Japanese humor don't stop there; they go beyond.
right. Yeah,
So if you will offend a single person, you don't make the joke to offend a single person. You offend every person on his life, every person of his lineage, his whole family, his existence, and any deity that they believe in.
yeah. It's
Why?
kind of like
Because it's fun.
imagine like air like like what was it, like Blazing Saddles, the Holy Grail,
Yeah, exactly. Monty
Life of
Python.
Brian, what was a police force, police academy, all that kind of stuff, and just put cocaine on top of it, and
Monty
that's
Python is
literally,
a
yeah,
right example, actually,
right,
because it's exactly the same. With Monty Python, when the joke stops being funny, instead of cutting the joke, they keep with the joke, and they keep it to an extent that it starts to be funny again. After a point, somebody will get really bored of a joke that you are making because they already know it. But then the repetition kicks in, and the repetition is even funnier because you are no longer laughing about the joke. You are laughing about the existence of the joke. So that takes an interesting turn. I think George Carlin was really good on managing that kind of humor. Uh, you get obviously Monty Python. The guys on Monty Python were great on managing that kind of humor, but I don't see anybody other than people that have worked on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, um, that really understand that level of don't give a shit. If somebody gets offended, you make fun about the offense. You make fun about the person getting offended. You keep going. You don't stop. And that goes bigger and bigger and bigger, and the humor just builds up. And that's the joke about One Punch Man. That's everything is a single joke. Is people will die fighting, will try to be heroic, and they will face the worst possible enemy, and then sometime Saitama gets there and he just throws a punch. So all that built up of drama, of incredible battles, all that you get of emotional build up is destroyed by just one punch, and that's it. And it works incredibly well. So
yeah,
I don't know if Americans are really in the level to manage that kind of humor, because it's too pure and too don't give a shit
right,
levels of stupidity that you need to get. And I have been seeing another series that I love that is Konosuba, Konosubarashiki, whatever. God's blessing upon this world. That
Yeah.
is a guy that is transported to a fantasy world, and in this fantasy world, basically he is a useless piece of shit. But because the goddess that was supposed to reincarnate him in this world make fun of him, and he has a wish of taking something of godly origin to his new life, he picks her. So she's trapped on this world being useless with him. And all the jokes is about how useless they are, how terrible of a person they are. And it makes great comedy. It's always on in Philadelphia in a fantasy setting. And it is fantastic. Gonzalo, no sé qué me dijiste, Fletcher, el corazoncito de, de tapar la primera palabra.
Después escuchó, dijo, sí, facts. Porque dijo,
Ok.
sono, 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 me llama del bar de Mo. En ese buen
Sonó, sonó,
lugar.
sonó. Me llama del bar de Moe. En este buen lugar. Me gusta beber alcohol. Is Homer Simpson's song
Yeah,
for a ringtone, but
right.
I actually had that ringtone
That's funny.
for a long time. Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna be covering that later about localization because, yeah, we got that story covered up.
Uh,
Localization.
Humberto Vélez, man. Humberto Vélez was the real Homer Simpson. But yeah,
No, but I
this is
guess this goes
Asian.
back to this. It's basically a localization problem that we're having. That I guess we're not having because we don't know what's going on yet. The localization problem is where we think that this could go horribly wrong, because localizing One Punch Man, like imagine even localizing, God's blessing in this strange world. It could go extremely wrong,
I
real quick.
will make this comparison, okay? We started like this. This is the original version of One Punch Man.
Right.
Then we went to this. Then we went to the animation. Then we will go to something worse than this.
That's the word.
That
That's the word. Yeah.
and yes, there's a girl on Twitter that always get in trouble because she cosplays as this character as Tatsumaki, and she's really petite, right?
Yeah.
She is extremely petite, so there's a lot of people that try to cancel her, saying that she's underage and everything, and she is late 20s.
Yeah. I mean, short
just
girls are out there, folks. It
yeah,
happens.
just
My family
just so
is full of them.
dude, it just so happens that the character on the manga faces exactly the same issue because
Right.
she's really petite, and everybody treats her as she is a
Like a
little
child.
girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's 28.
But that's a joke, and it could be taken completely horribly wrong in this day and age. So are they going to get the
that's
joke? That's. I mean,
that's the
we're
issue.
dealing with. I mean, we're talking about the writer of Community, but Pablo, they literally censored, when Community, I guess, went to a different stream service, they censored like a few of the episodes, and then they
Mhm.
also censored, you were talking about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, another show that goes risque, because it doesn't care. They also censor some of those. How are you
Yes,
going to make this? That's the issue. It's not like we don't
yes.
believe that Americans can make funny things anymore. We're doubtful, but how are you making it if your own awesome writers that you hired are getting censored even when they're pushing stuff out?
Have you seen the IT Crowd?
Which one?
The IT Crowd is a series from England that is about the IT department of a company.
No, I don't think so.
No, okay. They have an episode where the joke is that there's a guy called Peter File.
Right,
Because he is England pronunciation, he's pedophile.
right.
So the whole joke, the whole episode is that He's a pedophile,
You said The
right?
Office,
No, the IT crowd.
the IT Road,
Yeah,
IT Road,
IT crowd.
T Crow.
Crowd.
Something.
Yep.
Crowd.
Uh, yeah, crowd.
Okay,
Whatever,
okay.
man.
No, I'm trying to write it down.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No worries. But is actually that's one of my favorite series of all time, and they go full risky on this kind of jokes. That
Right,
sounds
yeah.
really terrible. The pronunciation is horrible, so everybody is looking at him as
But this is
he
an
is
old show, I'm guessing, right?
yeah 2010 9
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. But they have a movie that is called The Internet is Coming, where they this is before cancel culture kicks in, and they have a whole joke about how they are misrepresented on the internet, and because of that there's people trying to get them fired off their work, get the company closed up and everything. And one of the jokes is you are a little person um, racist, you are a little person racist, and they
Hmm.
are like, but little people are not a race. Well,
Okay.
that's racist. So it builds up, that joke builds up, and at the end of the movie is basically they predicting culture as a whole.
That's hilarious. But that's good
And
comedy. Do you
yeah,
think it,
guess
but can it
what?
be made now? That's the issue. The issue is that
You can't
everything
because
is
it's too
kids.
real now.
So how do you make One Punch Man? That's this is I guess this is a conundrum. We're not trying to say it can't be made. We're trying to say in this day and age it can't be made without, somebody saying no, unless you're doing it overseas. I don't How are they going to do it? That's the problem. The One Punch is not just the action sequence. It's almost like the action is like an afterthought. It's just a consequence of what happens. The inner monologue, his relationships, it's very soap opera-ish. It's like a soap
Yes.
opera. So it's not like there's actions, there's awesome action, there's like really awesome action, but it's so over the top that it's hilarious. And so it's like, man, it's going to be really challenging. We're not saying it can't be done. We're saying it's very unlikely to be done right. I don't know. What do you guys think, chat? Does anybody in the chat think that this can be made right? I don't know. Me and
Oh.
Pablo, I think, don't think it can be made right.
If they
Correct, Pablo?
race swap Genos, I'm just saying, if they do something that stupid as race swapping Genos or even sex changing Genos, hey Vasco, if they do something that stupid as trying to make Tatsumaki older or look older or less sexy, because Tatsumaki obviously
How
she's
about Steel? Remember,
almost naked.
they have representation. I mean, look at what's the man that's the bodybuilder. His body is Steel. You know, he basically looks like a hardcore, Mr. Olympia. He's black. Are they
Mhm.
gonna make him? Are they gonna make him ridiculous? Because Terry Crews would be great in that. The great in that role. I can see Terry Crews playing that role because that's him.
Also, there's an issue of timing. Japanese timing for comedy is really different from American timing. Is that break of this is happening to go to something absolutely crazy? I think South Park kinda gets it, but that's the only series from America that I know that really follows that pattern of you have something really serious, really important, and it goes to absolute craziness in a second, and everybody is just laughing at it.
Right,
That you need to nail. This is a really difficult level of comedy that you need to get right, and
right.
I'm really worried that they will not.
Yeah.
So especially because of the people they are calling out as they are in the team, well, it's not the kind of people that I will want doing absolutely anything right now, because they have proven that they cannot. And so I have a real issue with this. I have a real worry about what's going to happen, how they are going to manage the comedy part, the action part, if they are going to change the characters, because the characters are really great. But if you want to know more about One Punch Man, I won't even point you to the manga. I will tell you, watch the first season. The first season of the anime is absolutely amazing. It's one of the best things that you can ever watch, because of the level of comedy. And if you get into that comedy, if you get into that level of ridiculousness, go and watch something like Konosuba. It's also in that vein. And if you're worried about offending sensibilities, well, the author is not worried about that, and he's offending every sensibility possible. So just enjoy, just just have fun with that. But yes, One Punch Man in development. Dan
Yeah.
Harmon is on the mix. Yeah,
Yeah. It could go interesting, and and it could go horribly wrong. I mean, we've seen. I think they're kind of a bit of on a high, with One Piece, because they did get some of the humor right on One Piece. Um,
no, they
this is
don't.
this Well, some. I said some. I'm being
Yeah,
generous.
no, this is
Pablo, I'm being
this is the
generous.
this is the genius with the One Piece live action adaptation. They don't really nail everything from the, yeah, from the manga, because they can't. A lot of the physical comedy from the manga is really difficult to extrapolate to a live action setting, and they actually avoid it. But they keep the core of what is One Piece, that is the drama, the friendship, the relationship between the guys on the Straw Hat crew,
Right.
the Mugiwaras, because is important to nail that interaction, that friendship, that level of loyalty, and they actually go great in that. But you don't get those moments of Usopp going completely crazy with his eyes out. You don't get the thongs rolling out, or the crazy movements. So instead of just pushing, trying to replicate visually what they have in the manga, they replicate the interactions and the relationships on the manga, and that's what it works. That's why it works on the context of the One Piece live action adaptation. Here, the core of the manga, because it's a gag manga, is a joke manga, is the jokes. The core of this, of One Punch Man, is the comedy.
And the
And that's
absurdity of
the,
the world.
yeah, that's the part that I don't think Americans are ready for tackling. I don't think anybody outside of Japan is ready to tackle that. Maybe the drama, yeah, they can nail the drama. Maybe if there was something else like really deep relationships will work, but this is not it. This is jokes. One Punch Man is about the jokes, and comedy in the
You
US
could
is dead.
say it's about the punch line.
Yeah, it's part of the joke is exactly that. It's only one punchline. Is One Punch Man. His only gag is that punchline. Is he throws a punch, is over. It's something like there's layers between layers of comedy. For example, there's a series called Punchline, an animation called Punchline, that because of the way that it's written on Japanese, It can also be interpreted as the panty line. Is that line between a skirt and the stockings of a lady that you can barely see the panties, right? That in Japan is called the panty line, and it's something that is actually on fashion. You will see on fashion magazines talking about the panty line. Well, the joke of the whole series is that the guy that is the superhero, if he sees something that makes him excited, he will get superpowers. If he sees something that makes him excited while he has superpowers, the world ends and everybody dies. So his source of power and his weakness is the panty line, and is written in a way that sounds as the punchline. So there's different layers mixed in that series of comedy, just dealing with the funny side of perversion that you will not get on American media, for example. In One Punch Man, there's layers of uh, homoerotism as a joke that you will never get in American media. So I don't know. I just don't know if they can nail it. I don't know if they can do it.
Yeah, it's gonna be an uphill battle on this one. I don't know. I mean, even the cast is gonna be unusual. How they're gonna do it? It's you got to have somebody that nails the facial expressions, but also the quirkiness of it. This is a tough one. It's really a tough one. And you would think it's not a tough one. You would think it'd be easy to do, but the nuance is what makes this character great. It's the
Mhm.
little nuances and those little things that if you get it, it's is awesome. But if you don't get it, you're totally not going to get it. You're not going to get anything. It's going to be like, what is this nonsense that I'm watching? Um, it's one of those
Mhm.
that I don't know if it can translate. That's the thing, I
It
guess.
goes this deep on the level of just don't care about the
Oh,
stupidity. If you see the T-shirt that Saitama uses when he's not on his superhero costume, it says Opai and it has two lines with two dots. Opai means tits, and literally his shirt is just say tits, and it has tits drawn on it.
yeah, it's a lot of
That's
stuff. But Ironcaster is the one that really that one hurt because Ironcaster in the chat saying
Ironcaster.
it could be worse. Seth Rowan could be involved. Oh
Oh
no, no,
no!
we don't hear if he's involved. But oh my gosh, why is
Don't
he
give them
involved in
ideas.
everything? Yeah, don't put it out in the atmosphere, Ironcaster. That's messed up. We shouldn't even. Don't put it out. No, 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 no. Sign of the cross. All right. So
I just
yeah,
saw something that was really good with his involvement, with Seth Rogen's involvement. Uh, Invincible season 2. He's on the credits as a producer.
is he? But is he just
Yeah,
like he just put money up, or is he involved in
I
any way?
have no idea, but he was on the credits, so I'm up to date with the season. I'm not sure if it ended, but Invincible season 2 goes into the uh, should I spoil it? Whatever.
Oh no.
Omni-Man has a redemption arc where he actually starts to understand humanity and starts understanding what means to care about people. And they go full on that on this season, and they nail it. Not so much the gore. Some of the fights are tamer than in the original comic. You don't see alien tits that you see on the comic. Uh, there's some characters that are sex change, but they die in a gruesome way. So I'm actually not mad about that. They change one of the enemies into a lady, but then they kill her in a worse way than the guy dies in the comics. So
But that's
you
interesting,
know,
Pablo, because
you
basically
don't care.
we have two things that are very similar. Because we do have, it's, Invincible basically is a caricature of, of Superman.
Yes.
One Punch Man, in a sense, it's a caricature from a Superman also. But you have completely different vehicles that, the anime of the anime, the card. I don't know. Is it an anime if it's American Invincible?
No, animation.
Right. So the animation of Invincible is sticking pretty close to the material, right? Because it can't. It's an American vehicle.
Mhm.
It's very close to the material. That's why it's been good. It's you stick to the material, you get good results. This, on the other hand, is something that you're translating. And the story later on we're trying because the translation and the localization is where things kind of can go awry, and I think that's the problem with One Punch. Like we're saying, we have two things here that are similar in a sense, but they're not, because one, it has that American feel to it, and the
Mhm.
other one, yeah, it has no American feel to it. It has zero.
But okay, that's the only thing that I can think about Seth Rogen out of late that I have enjoyed. And yeah, I will recommend actually if you have Amazon Prime or any other mean, wink wink,
Aha.
uh, use the code midnight for Surfshark. I'm just saying, you know.
Search that VPN.
And yeah, go ahead and watch Invincible. Season 1 was really good, but I hated Amber. Season 2 make me actually care about Amber.
Ooh.
And yeah, that's all I will say about her. And is really good. Season 2 is really, really good. So go watch it. But
Nice.
I want to keep talking about things that I love because later I will have to talk about things that I hate. So what about if we go into a happy topic?
All right, let's go. Happy topic, happy topic, happy topic.
Okay, just
Topic.
let me get. Oh, you had an article already on the chat for this. If you guys haven't been seeing this, maybe you should. Spice and Wolf is back.
Choo, choo, choo.
For those that don't know what Spice and Wolf is, Spice and Wolf is a light novel from Japan that it goes really deep into the economic system of the Middle Ages. At the same time, it goes really deep into fantasy and into the realm of romance, and it makes it one of the most unique light novels of all time, and also one of the best light novels and novels in general that has ever came out of Japan. So much that I had this is a story that I really like because it shows you the greatness of the material. I presented the first season of the original anime adaptation of this to my Japanese teacher, a PhD on linguistics, a Japanese guy that was traveling the world, staying in every country, working on every country as he was from there to enjoy the culture, enjoy everything about the country, right? And it was this crazy guy that was selling stuff on a Chinese bootleg shop that I went into, and I'm like, "Can you teach me Japanese?" He's like, "No." Can you teach me Japanese? No. Can you teach me Japanese? Come back Thursday. And since that, every Thursday for 4 years, I learned Japanese. That's a real story. And I show him this anime, and next week I come back and he's like, subtitles are wrong. I'm redoing the whole thing. He read it and he make a transcript of the whole series of the whole goddamn series to make the subtitles for the series because he loved so much of the story. He loved so much of even the language that the one of the main characters, Horo, uses, the way that she talks and everything, that he decided that he needed a better translation, and he did.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you can imagine if a PhD on linguistics goes really ham on this series because he's so deep into culture that is great. You can imagine how deep this goes. You can imagine how incredible this piece of art is. Well, they had two seasons. The second season came in the early 2010s, and that's it. They never finished the series. It stayed on limbo for a long time. The manga ended, the light novel ended. They restarted the whole manga with a next generation kind of manga that is called Wolf and Parchment. That it talks about basically, I don't know if I should say this because
No,
it's a big
don't spoil it
spoiler.
because I have it on my list now, Paulo.
Okay, but there's a character that will appear on the future because of things that happen that just so happened to appears in the first episode of the revival and kicks me in the nuts and in the heart at the same time because I'm this is a huge spoiler, but also this is something that I wanted to see so desperately that I'm happy. And I'm really happy with the new adaptation of Spice and Wolf because it goes bit by bit. For example, there's a character on the animation that doesn't appear on the manga or in the light novel that is called Chloe. Chloe is the girl that picks up the last bunch of wheat on the Harvest Festival and everything on the animation, and she is the one that betrays Lawrence and everything. Well,
By the
it
way,
just so
Pablo's
happens,
saying wheat, not weed.
yeah, wheat. It just so happens that that character was unique for the animation. In the light novel, is a guy called Jure. Well, they go in the light novel route instead of doing Chloe. They go with Jure, but
Hmm. Okay.
this is important part. Chloe appears on the anime. She's not the one that rips the final bunch of wheat, but she's still on the anime. So they canonize Chloe without giving her the role that she had on the animation, on the 2000s animation. That made me happy because I thought they will just erase Chloe from existence. No, they keep Chloe. They just give Jure his original side on the story. It's those little details that makes me smile. And there's a
Okay.
lot
No,
of those.
this is something because I haven't watched it. I haven't watched the
Mhm,
original. Haven't watched this. I did put this on my list, so you can't get me for that, Pablo. I already have it, and I showed you proof that it's on my
mhm.
watch list. But do I have to watch the older series to get this one, or is it a complete reboot? Like, can you watch it?
It's a complete reboot. Okay, this is
Okay,
they go instead of doing an adaptation of the old anime, they are doing an adaptation of the light novel. So they are going bit by bit of the light novel as it was originally intended. There's a lot of conversation that they left out on the original anime that is on the
hmm,
light novel.
okay,
In this version, they keep all those moments, and those moments go really deep because the characters are interacting in some ways that you will not see on the screen before. Horo, the main character, Holo or Horo, whatever you want to use.
right.
In the original anime translation, it was Horo. Then, when they did the second subtitles and they did the dubbing, they changed it to Holo, but it's on Japanese Horo. So you could call her Horo directly and just avoid all the confusion. Well, Horo is this lady that is really over the top, into making Lawrence's self-esteem lower just by the fun of it.
Oh, who's
Also,
Lawrence?
she likes to tease him with because they need to lie that they are a couple. She likes to tease him a lot. So Lawrence is in a bad position where a girl is actually teasing him. She's doing a lot of body stuff to make him excited and everything. But the moment he starts to show that he's really into it, she goes with a joke and that's it.
Right.
Be- because she's an asshole. Horo is an asshole, but is a lovable asshole. Is the right kind of girl, if you know what I mean. Is the girl that has have fun with you, but at the same time is having fun about you. And dude is really great. The whole interaction between the characters is absolutely awesome. The voice actors are back, and the voice actors are the original voice actors for the animation that we had on the early 2000s, and their voices have matured and they are way more skillful into showing you the emotions that the character have. So each conversation goes deeper, it feels better than before.
Hmm.
The censorship is there. There's a bit of censorship in the original anime adaptation. They were a bit more reckless on how much of Horo they show because Horo
Okay.
goes naked a lot. But the censorship works because it's not tamer, is more classier, right?
Okay. So if I but let's say somebody out there, Carlos in the chat, Sanders in the chat,
Mhm.
all the folks, they've never watched or heard of this anime. Just a brief synopsis on what's it about.
Okay. There's this traveling merchant that is called Lawrence that goes into this small town where they are having a harvest festival. And they have this god, this wolf girl god that is supposed to bring them good harvest. But because the church is starting to propagate on this continent, there's new harvesting techniques, there's crop rotation and everything being introduced into the system. So they don't really need this goddess anymore. She was the one keeping the harvests bountiful, but sometimes the ground needs to rest and everything. So she sometimes have to make harvest smaller or give less of it. And because of that, they are tired of depending on this goddess, and they want to go full church. They want to use new sciences and everything. And she's sad about that, and she just wants to go back to her home on the north. There's a small thing about her pact with this village, that if there's better wheat in a bushel somewhere else right when the last bit of crop is harvested, she can jump to there and she's free. And Lawrence just so happens to have a bit of a bunch of wheat on his wagon. So she jumps into the wagon and she starts traveling with him. But because Lawrence is a merchant, everything about the story is about how they deal with everything that he gets, from pepper to armors to nails to basically anything that he can buy somewhere and sell somewhere else in the road to the north. And it's just deep about economics. They tell you about how the trading system work, how they minted coins, how they manage the value of the coins, how the power of a state will change the value of a coin, even if it has enough silver or enough gold or anything. It goes really deep into that. It's about economics. It's a series
Oh,
about
cool.
economics, really heavy. But at the same time, it's about the relationship between Horo and Lawrence and how they basically fall in love slowly.
Okay.
And
So
it's
every
great.
young man's fantasy, you know,
Yeah, it's
end the
absolutely
Fed
great.
and find a girl.
Is fortune and getting the girl, but
That's
there's a lot
awesome.
more behind that, and I don't want to spoil. But there's things about her home that will come into the picture later. There are things about that position of she being treated as a god that will come later, and there's so many layers. It's so deep. It's so interesting. I cannot recommend this enough. If you can watch the original animation, if you have a lot of money, it cost 4,000. I think it was around $2,000 and $4,000 the last time I checked. The complete version of the light novel on a hardcover
Wow.
is thicker than two Bibles put together. I'm not joking. It cannot be shipped easily because it's really heavy, and it's absolutely crazy the level of detail that that version of the light novel has, because everything has been crafted to a point that is art. Owning that book is owning a piece of art. And
So
there's
can you really call it a light novel then? I'm sorry, that was a dad joke. I
no,
apologize.
no, 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 you are completely right. But the thing is that the light novel went so long that is thicker than two Bibles put
It
together.
became a heavy novel.
Yeah. It has the original illustrations that are absolutely wonderful. It has commentary from the original artist about how he took decisions on how to draw horror and everything. It has a lot of notes from the author about how he's guiding the story, how he's setting everything up.
Oh, that's cool.
And I will say, if you have the money, if one day I have the money, I want to own that, and it will have a special place on my collection. It will be on a glass display that I can easily remove so I can read the damn thing. But yeah, it's really pricey and is absolutely wonderful. Also, you can get the light novel tomes for, I think, is less than $10 on the US. You can buy them on Amazon. Read the light novel. Maybe skip the manga because the manga takes some liberties that I don't like. Read the light novel, that's for sure, and watch the original animation and watch this animation. We are 3 episodes in.
Okay, are they releasing them weekly?
They are releasing it weekly, and
Okay.
the 3 episodes are absolutely perfect.
Hmm.
I I'm really difficult to please at this level to say that I will not change anything on them. The music
Wow.
is fantastic, and the music for the original animation is one of the best music, one of the best soundtracks that I ever had the pleasure to hear. But the music, they are nailing it. The voice acting is even better than it was before, so it's fantastic. It's absolutely incredible. The animation needs to be polished a bit, but it will be polished for the Blu-ray release. So yeah, that's something normally in anime. Is something that you will expect for some of the animation to not be complete, since Madoka Magica is something that you basically take from for granted. The quality in general is superb. So I will say, if you haven't seen Spice and Wolf up to this point, you can start with this and you will be hooked. If you
Awesome.
already watched the original Spice and Wolf, This is something that will bring you joy, and I mean absolute joy. So I will also recommend watch this version. And if you have no interest whatsoever on animation, but you like reading, please read the light novel because it's one of the best written fantasy novels of all time. And I'm not joking. Is maybe at the level that you can compare it to things made by El Manco de Lepanto, like Don Quixote. You can measure it with my favorite book of all time, that is The Count of Monte Cristo, El Conde de Monte Cristo, by Alejandro Dumas.
Yep.
It's at that level. I'm not joking when I say this is one of the deepest, most incredible pieces of written art, of literature of all time, and the animation is following it to a T. Is going great, and I'm loving it. So yeah, this is me sharing joy, sharing love. Uh, Something that I cannot do so much because everything is going to hell out of late. No, this is it. This is perfection. This is wonderful. This is what I will want in the future for my son, from my grandchildren, to have this level of quality, this level of storytelling that gets you in the most deep emotional level, and also teaches you about math and economy. So it's a win-win. Yeah,
Awesome.
just watch it and read the light novel. Is absolutely fantastic. And if you have an Oculus Rift, I don't know why you will give money to Meta, but if you have an Oculus Rift, there's a game, a VR game of Spice and Wolf, where you can see a bit of the animation while the characters talk you about what happened on the animation, and they canonize Chloe there. So it's really weird that they decided to take away Chloe from that spot, but they canonize it in another way. It's There's a lot of material for Spice and Wolf. You should watch it. You should read Wolf and Parchment. That is the newest series following after Spice and Wolf. And get into this world is amazing. I love it, and I cannot recommend it enough. Also, Hori is the best. Hori is the perfect woman. Let's be honest,
Pablo's like, she's best girl.
dude. She has been my best girl for 2 decades at this
That's
point,
funny. That's
and
hilarious.
she was for 4chan.
Oh,
There was an era where everything was about Horo. If you go to the 2009 forums on Japan, it was everything about Horo. Everybody knows Horo is the best girl. That's it.
that's
And the
fun.
figures, ooh, the figures you can get. My brother, if you can get the actual original versions of the figures for Horo, that's a collection you should keep because it will be worth every figure that was from the original animation or for the original run of the manga right now is going for $300-400 more that it was on the beginning. It may go a couple dozen dollars in the futures. I'm
Uh,
just saying.
you, you heard it here, folks. If you want to diversify your portfolio, gold and silver, horror
Horo
figures,
naked in a figure
that
is your way to go.
that's the way to go.
Not
But
joking.
you got the other article, Pablo. I
Yeah,
think I
yeah, yeah,
sent
yeah.
it in the background, and it's we're going from fun things to I guess not so fun things if you got stock in Disney. Uh,
Okay, let's go slowly.
slowly.
First, let's set the mood for this. Have you seen what? Hey, yep. Have you seen what Larry Fink did on his investor call for
Yeah,
BlackRock?
make it bigger, make it bigger, big.
If you have an article,
That's
it will
funny.
be better. But okay, there's the investors call for BlackRock, where they are making a few questions about how wokeness is impacting everything, how they are losing money. The guys, the guy goes mental
Oh wow.
in the call. The guy goes completely mental. He starts to say that it's because of these evil people that don't really want what he's offering, and they are modifying whatever he says, and he has never tried to force anything over anybody. And I will play the clip of him saying we have to force behavior, because
Right.
he actually did say they are forcing behavior, they are making it mandatory on his companies to go woke. And then in this call he's saying, I will never say such a thing, I will never try to force anybody. This is a natural movement that we were trying to do, that it was making the world better, and these terrible people that are misogynistic, that are homophobes, that are this and that, they are the really bad guys, and they are trying to take everything that I have said to make it look like I'm trying to force people into being gay. And again, I want to show the clip of him going, we need to force behavior, we are forcing behavior in BlackRock, and if anybody wants to do things against this, we will force them to comply. And then in this call he's like, I will never say this. Well, guess what? Every company that is following the tenants from BlackRock is losing money fast. BlackRock lost a lot of money, but a lot of that money were lost in things like Disney, right? So because of what they have been doing, actually they kind of tunk Disney. How much? The recent report says that even with everything that they have done in Star Wars, and that means licensing, that means the movies, the TV series, everything that they have produced out to this point, they are not even near close recouping what they spent on buying Star Wars. I was saying that a couple of years ago. I called it that Star Wars went from being $4 billion worth to being $800 million worth. The calculus is even less now. They are not only not recouping money, they are losing money. They are losing hundreds of millions of dollars a year without giving a movie. If they take a movie right now to the screens, they will lose everything they make on the movie, everything that they make on licensing for the toys, for whatever. If they right now spend the $200 million on making a Star Wars movie, they will lose $500 million in total. And that's not a joke. That's the reality of how much the things that BlackRock have been pushing can damage a brand.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think I posted the Forbes article in the
Yeah,
chat.
yeah, 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 yeah.
They were
On
talking
the
about it. It's I guess they're finally seeing that they're not making any money, which is crazy because you're thinking, oh, millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Disney Star Wars box office profit failed to cover cost of buying Lucasfilm, and that's not it. This title is misleading because it's not they fell only with the box office. They have failed with all other deals that they have taken. Hasbro right now is about to go bankrupt. Not a joke. If Hasbro keeps selling Star Wars toys, they will go bankrupt. and that's on top of what they are doing with Magic the Gathering, what they are doing with Dragons and Dragons. The franchises that actually make the money.
Right.
But the Star Wars toys were a huge revenue for Hasbro for a long time.
Right.
And if you remember, you had aisles on the toy stores that were full on Star Wars.
Full on Star Wars. I mean, all that was all the stuff that sell, and plus you had
Yeah,
collectors and all that stuff. It was crazy, and now
you
they
no
can't give
longer
the
have
stuff
that,
away. Yeah, it's crazy.
right?
You've
So
diluted the brand. It's so crazy.
that's a revenue that Hasbro is no longer taking, and is because, as Valiant Renegade has reported many times, in the contracts for merchandising for Star Wars, if you do, let's say, Luke Skywalker figure, you have to bundle it, and I mean a Golden Era Luke Skywalker figure. You have to bundle it with a Rey figure,
Right.
right? Even in Marvel, if you do a Captain America figure, you have to bundle it with Captain Black Falcon cosplaying as Captain America in a figure. Why? Because that's how much is forced upon them this woke nonsense. That's what's going on the market. If you are willing to make, let's say, Star Wars lunch boxes, you have to make race lunch boxes. You cannot just do original trilogy stuff. You need to do Disney trilogy stuff. This has been going for a long time, and this means a lot of these companies that work with Disney have stopped giving them money for licensing their brand because it's no longer worth it, right? Even Hasbro is cutting down on the amount of Star Wars toys they do, and in one point, if things keep going this way, they will need to stop making Star Wars toys altogether. So that's a revenue that Disney is losing because Disney takes a lot of money for you being able to use Luke Skywalker on your T-shirt. But if nobody wants to do T-shirts anymore because your brand sucks, well, Disney is not getting the money, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't see. I mean, I have a Star Wars T-shirt, but mine's like the old school T-shirt, and you don't. How many? If you see any Star Wars, new Star Wars, what do you see? You usually see maybe Baby Yoda, and that's mostly like girls and stuff like that. Maybe Mandalorian, uh, maybe
Yeah,
like the
The Mandalorian brand in general has lost 90% of its traction. That means if you want to make something for Baby Yoda, it will sell 90% less that it will have sold when The Mandalorian was on air the first season. The second season took away a lot of traction. The third season killed the brand.
yeah, it was crazy. It's funny because you know what, Pablo? The funny thing is, my sister who's a normie, she was like, we watched The Mandalorian, but I couldn't get it. I didn't understand, and I'm like, because you had to watch, 2 episodes of Book of Boba Fett to make it make sense. And she's like, oh, and I'm like, you can't do this to people. Not everybody is us.
Yeah, they have been doing this for 10 years now.
Yeah,
And yes,
crazy.
Star Wars is basically taking the worst decision that Bob Iger ever took. He
It's
killed
insane.
Star Wars and he killed Disney at the same time because it's not only you don't recoup that money and that's it. No, it goes deeper than that. You have a lot of obligations with the shareholders that you need to maintain. And if you don't, well, you may be facing a lawsuit like you will never Imagine, and that's the panic that they had with Nelson Peltz probably getting into the board. He didn't make it, sadly. But if Nelson Peltz went into the board, he will have access to all the documentation that he will need to start a lawsuit against Bob Iger for breaking fiduciary obligations. And basically, that's it. Bob Iger goes to jail.
That's crazy.
Yep. So, yeah,
So now we know he
spending.
spent 7 million, seven. What is it? 70 million or 70 million to keep it not on the board or whatever.
Okay, we have confirmation. Fletcher Williams is a Decepticon.
Oh man, I'm sorry, the
It's
wind's
all
picking up.
now. It's all better now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Sorry
uh,
guys, we're in hurricane weather for some reason. Is that as bad as Ecuadorian weather? Because that's political. Wait, take me to your leader.
don't get me started with.
Okay. But the wind's picking up. Darn it. How did the internet go out when the wind's picking up? Stupid. The stupid thing is supposed to be on the ground.
Trans Fletcher.
Yeah, I'm Trans Fletcher. Trans Fletcher, more than meets the eye.
But yeah, if you talk
Seven,
about
70 billion. That's crazy.
dude, 70. You know how many countries you can handle with
Yeah, no,
$70 million?
you could have just bought a country. Why even? You could have, instead of spending for Star Wars and driving into the ground, buy Ecuador and drive it into the ground. It's
Oh no,
literally,
we are doing it ourselves. Don't worry
I
about
know
that.
that's just make Ecuador like Star Wars land. And it's like I gotta.
Yeah,
God,
my country is handled like Kathleen Kennedy handled the Star Wars. I
that's
will just
literally
say that.
yes. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. But this is, I mean, imagine, Pablo. If somebody were to tell you you can buy Star Wars, and you're
Mhm.
thinking to yourself, "Wow, I'm gonna buy Star Wars. There's tons of books and comics and stuff, all kinds of stuff that you could do, and fans, and I'm going nuts. I'm gonna make so much money, right? Because as a kid, you're like, oh, imagine all the action figures that they can make that they weren't made. You can make all this and that. And what did they do? They literally decided, oh, all those cool things that you like, yeah, those things suck. How
I want
about
to point.
this?
I want to point out this.
All right,
They are
make it
saying
bigger.
that the Force Awakens
Can you
made
zoom in a little bit?
$2.1 billion. Okay, that's misleading. That's absolutely misleading. The total revenue for the movie was $2.1 billion. But after taxes, after paying theaters, after paying tariffs on every country, after paying every guild that they need to pay and everything, they made $1 billion in total. From that $1 billion, they had to spend almost all that money to create all the other movies. So when they finally made the Mandalorian and everything, there was no money left in the bank. From the $1 billion that they made for the Force Awakens, there was no money in the bank, not a single cent for making the Mandalorian, for making the Book of Boba Fett, for making any of that. That they had to not even just make the normal loans that you will make. Okay, uh, that's literally money that they have to borrow because they didn't have any. It's not we invested this in these assets, we made this, and no. That money is gone. They had to spend all that money. Remember that they made that uh, it was not even a hotel, it was a pile of garbage where you will stay. That was the Star Cruiser and everything. Uh, that's money that they spent, that they had to pay the loans for the Star Wars in. They made the attractions on the Disney parks. They made Solo, that lost a lot of money. Basically, all the endeavors that they had together is around $5 to $6 billion extra on top of paying for buying Star Wars. That was $4 billion. If you calculate what they have spent in everything, from the hotel, the rides, the movies and everything, the TV series and everything, is around $5 to $6 billion.
That's crazy.
So we are talking about maybe $9 to $10 billion spent on Star Wars. They haven't generated in total $2 billion from it. You want to talk about bad business practices. How about spending, I don't know, two, three times, four times the amount that you are recuperating and still wasting money on things like the Acolyte?
But don't you think, Pablo, that's something that they have to do? Like they have to,
No,
like, contractually do it or
no,
anything like that?
no. They can let it rest for 10 years without producing anything, and they will make more money than producing all the garbage that they have been producing.
Mm.
They can literally just don't do anything else for 10 years. They can just let Star Wars waste for 10 years and they will make money instead of losing it. Because while they are producing series, video games, they are producing the comics that we haven't talked about how much money they have lost in the in the not New Republic. How is it called? Uh, the High Republic, the Getting High Republic, the Snoop Dogg Republic, whatever. Well, they have to pay for the marketing for those books. They have to pay for the printing of those books because a lot of the printing houses are no longer just buying the rights, they are doing it on demand, right? They have to spend money on everything that they do, but they are not making that money back. If they stop producing everything and they just sold original trilogy stuff, maybe even prequel trilogy stuff, they will slowly make money. It's not fast. They won't make a ton of money that they could have done in, let's say, 2010 if they sold premiere toys for Luke Skywalker or for Anakin Skywalker. They sold this Vader that it was beautiful and costed like $3,000 that I wanted. I really wanted that one. Dude, they could keep doing those kind of figures. They could do a lot of merchandising, and slowly they will be generating money. Maybe $1 billion in total in 10 years. Maybe. Let's be really generous. But still, they are not losing $1 billion a year.
That's just crazy. How do you lose money with Star Wars? That's the crazy thing. Because now nobody cares about Star Wars. Nobody cares. It's like the only stuff that sells is like the older stuff and the Turkish figures. Go check that out. That's pretty crazy. Um, but how do you? I mean, this is like it's yours to lose. How do you lose money in Star Wars? That's just insane.
Okay, Sander, about The Last Jedi, and this is a really important thing to calculate. The first week, uh, basically Disney kept all the money the theaters made none, because the way that the contract was
Oh,
done.
here we go. It
uh,
just showed. So it's the Bosco. Yeah, I can finally share. Woo! Uh, Bosco still cares. So that's how. But how many? How many other people? That I mean, Bosco. Do you? Would you? Are you gonna? Are you checking out the acolyte and stuff like that? That's interesting. I want to know. Which one are you talking about? For Sanders? Whoa, Sanders got a whole budget
oh
surprise.
yeah, 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 yeah. He has been doing the math on the
Oh,
chat.
okay. All right.
But here's the thing. Basically, the contract for The Last Jedi said that Disney had the right for the first dollar. That meant, on the way that the contract was laid off, that basically for the first week, all the money generated from the movie will go for Disney, because it was supposed to make so much money that the theaters didn't really need that much money. So they could just, I don't know, get the rest of the 2 months that they were obligated to screen the movie, and they could keep their share. But the first week, all the money went to Disney. What's the issue there? The first week is the only moment when the movie actually made money.
Oh wow.
So the theaters went absolutely crazy about that, and they were about to not even show when Solo came to cinemas. They were not even going to screen Solo because they lost so much money with that deal that they were angry at Disney. When the Rise of Soy Walker came out, they had to renegotiate everything, and still they were obligated to keep the movie for 3 weeks longer than they needed to. It was a bloodbath for the theaters. It was absolutely destroying their business. And Disney knew that. They forced their hand with The Last Jedi, and theaters still are angry about what happened with that. And theaters are still doing a lot of heavy negotiations with Disney, because having a movie for over 2 weeks that comes from Disney may lose the money.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy. I mean, remember like people standing in line and like for
I was on
lines and
cosplay for
lines.
the premiere of the two first movies.
I literally, me and my wife went in cosplay for the first movie. We're standing there and everybody's cosplaying, and you know everybody's having a good time. Then you come out and people are a little perplexed, not knowing what to do. You know, we just saw Han Solo get killed, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like whoa. And then it's funny because we didn't cosplay afterwards.
Mhm.
We did because even my wife had like a they were selling shirts. It's like a rock concert, and it's after that there wasn't. So it's like after the movie we didn't have that. But I guess if we look at Bosco, I guess he's saying I'll watch it, Acolyte, give it a shot. I won't be paying the 129 for Ubisoft, the video game that is and that's the thing. But if it was still peak, they would sell out of that game. Now we're like, well, let's see how well it's gonna do or
No, at
something
that
like that.
price they don't. Sorry, but
Yeah.
at that price they cannot sell that game, uh, even to whales. You can sell a whale game for $150, but it needs to come with a nice statue and everything, and then they can sell a
Also, it
lot
doesn't
of.
come with anything.
Uh-huh.
There's no like
They need
little
to sell.
packaging
No,
or
that's the
something.
digital license. So
That's it. You don't get
you
like
get
a
shit.
case or
Yeah,
nothing.
you get shit. You get nothing.
What? You don't even get like a package.
Nope.
No, look that up.
You
There's
get
no
shit
way.
for it.
You don't get nothing for it. You don't get. I mean, you just get like a digital thing, and that's it. So,
Yeah,
but
you
no, but
get
this is
that's
so you
the
start
digit,
playing it early, right? So like
and
this
there's a
is like the
Pricer version.
Twitch YouTube thing.
There's a hundred
Costco
and
is
ninety
this
nine
a
dollars.
$199 for what?
Yeah, for a digital game with cosmetics.
Nothing. So you don't get like no little like box or like with a little figurine or something or nothing. You don't get nothing.
You
Are you
okay?
serious?
Normally, I will say you get fucked on the ass, but you don't even get fucked on the ass in this transaction. You just lose money straight up, and you don't get the right to complain because you were so dumb that you wasted money on that game.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean,
That's
I don't know. I think they're out of touch with who their audience is in a sense because it can't be sustainable. I mean,
it is not,
also
but
it's just that unlocks the Jabba the Hutt mission. Uh,
yep. Disney haven't really been making money. Okay, I will show you. This is the price that you can find normally the first Star Wars Jedi Survivor game at, and people still not buying it.
uh,
90% off is $5, and people are still rejecting that shit.
and how about the old? But they're playing the older games and stuff.
Oh, I have, for example, if you get a joystick, if you get an old school
Hmm.
joystick,
Hmm.
get the pod racing game for episode one, and is
Oh
one
yeah,
of the
yeah,
best
those are fun.
experiences
I
that you
remember
can ever
playing
have.
those.
Yeah, but with a controller is not the same. With the joystick, because of the way that is configured, it actually feels like you are racing the goddamn pod racer. So it feels wonderful. And that game is 2000, what, 2000, not even. It was on the Nintendo 64.
It was that. It's just saved by Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, please. I'm
Yeah,
begging you. But they should give you
and
something for it. I mean, she
think
gets
about,
something, right?
is the deluxe edition.
But
This
what do
is
you
the
get with the
deluxe
deluxe
edition.
edition? Do
The
you get
normal,
skins or something?
I don't know. I haven't purchased it. I won't, because I don't give a fuck.
Okay, but this is kind of like you get it like at the premiere, right? It's you get the premiere and you're able to get it before other people, and that's what it is. You're getting that for that price. I mean, it's gonna be cheaper afterwards.
Now,
Well, we know it's gonna be cheaper afterwards, but
now, because of the way that they have set up everything, I will say the first sale will be after 3 to 4 months.
huh?
So you are
All right,
talking maybe before November. November,
all right.
you will get a sale for this game,
So
for the
they
new
had a
game.
question by Sanders, so I guess it's the
The Rise of Soy Walker made
oh, okay.
1.1 billion box office, zero point 0.5 to zero point 0.6 billion production budget, together with promotion between zero point 0.8 to 1 billion. But the Rise of Skywalker made 200 million at best, which is no. Uh, the Rise of Skywalker lost at least 200 million. It didn't make shit.
So I guess it's saying that on the total, the sequel trilogy earned 1.1 billion, which Disney paid for Lucasfilm, so they
You are
lost
correct.
2.95 billion on Star Wars. That's
And that's only with the
insane.
movies. That's not accounting for The
Yeah, that's not the
Mandalorian,
merchandise
Mandalorian
that they
Season
lost
2,
money.
The Book of Boba Fett, Juan Cholo.
What? No, hold on.
Oh, sorry, not Juan Cholo. How is that guy?
Andor.
No, I will tell you, I actually enjoyed Andor, but Andor lost a lot of money.
it didn't. I didn't understand because you're like, yeah, yeah. He says it's only for the trilogy movie.
Yep.
Um, why wouldn't you put out Andor? You know, like for what it is. You know, like it's not. It's like a political drama, so you can
Yeah,
sell
it's
it that
actually
way.
good. I
Yeah, so
was
you're like,
surprised.
oh,
It's
sell it
actually
as
interesting.
exactly. You sell it a political drama. This is like ridiculous. These people can't even like like. You know what? I agree with Bosco in a sense because Bosco's like, I'm gonna watch the Acolyte because at least the Acolyte looks like it's what it's selling. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
looks like, hey, look, we get everybody's got a lightsaber. It's lightsaber battle royale, right? It's lightsaber battle royale, and everybody's got a lightsaber, and we're just gonna go at it. And it's got you like Trinity. We got Trinity in space, um, and that's what it's gonna be. And so it's in a sense, it's the most honest trailer, I think. Because even in Obi-Wan, you thought, oh, we're gonna get an epic Obi-Wan, and then you got like a little melodrama. But I think so far, even the people who don't like it, they can't. You can't really argue that the trailer really gives you what it's selling. It's telling you it's gonna be like, you know,
The
uh,
trailer sucks.
yeah, but it's like it's what it is. It's like a ton of just fun, diverse lady Jedi's. Then you're gonna follow the fun lady Jedi's fighting probably lady Siths. So
Or
am
the
I roboting?
patriarchy.
I'm roboting again. Darn it!
Sander, you are correct by saying 6 to 7, but you need to think about the billion that they got from merchandising and Hasbro being absolutely stupid and paying for the licensings. So yeah, uh,
They
on those
probably thought they were
deals,
gonna make bank.
yeah, on those deals, they lost money. The ones that paid Disney for the licensing, they lost money, but Disney made money out of it. So you can discount around 1 to 1.5 billion from that. It's still $5 to $6 billion wasted from Disney. That's the reality of the situation. That's how much they have hurt the brand and they have hurt the company. They are still coming out with a show made by the enabler and accomplice for Harvey Weinstein's crimes. That's something that people don't talk about enough. Leslie Headland is the one that got the victims for Harvey Weinstein. It's like Oprah Winfrey. Oprah also was taking young ladies to get destroyed by this kind of people. And Leslie Headland, she was the assistant. She was the one that got the appointments. She was the one that actually looked for the girls. That is the reality of the situation. So we have a criminal that talks about feminism while being the one that made a lot of women being forcefully engaged with this guy. Yep. She is the one making this empowering tale of women fighting in space. And it's just fitting that the image for the poster looks like the lightsaber got forcefully intercoursed by somebody like Harvey Weinstein because it
That's
looks
kind of
like it's
stuff.
bleeding from the ass.
That's crazy.
Yep, I'm not missing words. This is a criminal. We all know it. You need to say alleged on YouTube because YouTube is really good at making people say, look less guilty that they are. But the reality is, if you follow the documentation, Leslie Headland made the appointments. That is not allegedly, that is real. She got the people into those positions where they will be forced by Weinstein. That is not alleged, that's real. She allegedly knew everything that was happening. That is the part that you need to say allegedly because that you don't have proof unless it's proven on court. Everything else, yeah, she's a monster. And she is the one making Star Wars worse. So I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm tired of protecting by the rules of YouTube and everything all these criminals that destroyed everything that I love. And Disney will lose more money. I think it's like 500 millions in the production of this series that will give them shit. So yeah, 6 to 7 billion soon.
Yeah, no, that's like a 400. Add 400, 500 million. They lost on Indiana Jones. Yeah, because they bought Lucas, and that was Indiana Jones too. And then 100 million on Willow. Oh man, wow. But at
By
least
the
they're
way,
getting those.
Willow they have to remove to basically evade taxes. It was not just tax exceptions for failing because the production was already shown. Uh, it was tax evasion. Disney, right?
Yeah, it's great company. But speaking of evasion, think I think it's one of a fun story, or what they want you to believe. They had the Capcon. Did you see this, Pablo? The Capcon uh, team
No, show me.
is pushing out this, letting people know what is it? Okay, there it's on, right. Okay, so there are letting people know what localization is. They're saying embark on a global
Is
adventure.
is something that artificial intelligence will do soon enough, so don't bother
So
getting this
much
job.
better.
You will be fired in like a month.
Really? No, no, Pablo. This localization is going to make everything better because you're diving into the art of cultural adaptation, preserving context, and exclusive storytelling. Join us as we unravel the intricacy that make games reasonable, resonate worldwide. Not just translating, it's the nuance, the items, the regional flair, importance of context. Key jokes, jokes, references. You're gonna get the jokes, Pablo. That's how you're gonna get the jokes. You see the jokes, the jokes.
Okay, let me tell you this. Even I will share this just for a second so you
Go ahead.
understand where I'm coming. Can you share my screen?
Yeah, hold on.
This is the
Okay.
kind of localization that I enjoyed. This is for the 3DS Etrian Odyssey 3. And if you can read what this kind metal worker is saying,
But I got your back when it comes to his weapons and armor. I got a late. No, no,
yes, this is real.
no.
This is Etrian Odyssey.
What?
This is localization at its best.
I can't.
By the way, I own this game. I have played it. It's awesome.
This is a translation they chose to go with.
Yep, Lady Bonner.
What? Come on.
I got the Lady Bonner harder
Jesus,
than
take the
Steel for that.
wheel. Oh
This is
man.
real.
This see this is why they need more money. This is why they need the government to take over
No,
because
this is why they need less money. This was the golden era of localization. Everything was fun. They had enjoyment doing localizations. They were not trying to sell you feminism. They were not trying to sell you Marxism. They were not trying to sell you shit. They were enjoying translating a game that made no sense, so they didn't even care. And it was wonderful.
but that's not now.
No, this is on the 3DS era. By the way, the 3DS is also discontinued its online services, so the 3DS is dead too.
Yeah,
Not
you
only
can't
the
get it
Wii U.
anymore.
Yep. But I will tell you, the Etrian Odyssey games for the 3DS were absolutely incredible. You have, because it's a dungeon crawler, you have to make your own map and everything, and you have to keep going to the dungeons and looking for new secret places and everything. It was actually really enjoyable. The character customization was great. The art was chibi art for that era, so it was really good for that era. It's a game that I enjoy really, really much, but I will never get this kind of translations ever again, where they actually go bonkers and they say stupid shit just for the sake of it. No, they have to teach you about the patriarchy and how women are oppressed and how black people are mistreated in games where in the original version they are talking about things like lady boners. Because the industry is in shit right now. So localization, don't make me laugh. If they want localization that is really good, they won't. They will never get that. You have seen what happened with Dragon Maid, right?
No.
That there's this character that is called Lukua that is really well endowed. And in
Okay.
the original version, she gets covered and she says it's because there's too many people watching her,
What?
right? In the localization for the American subtitles, she says that she covered because she's part of the patriarchy.
What?
Yep.
Get the heck out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, wait,
So
wait, wait. Well, that's you know why. You know why, Paul? Because as we see here, it's not just translating, it's adapting the game for a global audience. You just don't understand the global audience, Pablo. And context is the importance of context. Don't care about what this, what it
it's the
said.
same. It's the same that we were talking about One Punch Man. I have no
Yeah,
confidence at all on America to actually make a good translation of the jokes
right,
because they don't get the jokes. It's no long. That's the point. The people that are working on the industry no longer have that sensation of fun, of enjoyment. They no longer try to just be into what they are doing. Instead,
right.
they want to change it for the better, quote unquote, and they are destroying a lot of material. And it's it's actually a shame because there's so many good stuff coming out in manga, in video games. Stellar Blade is breaking bank, and it
Oh my
should
gosh, it's
because
going
it's a great
crazy,
game.
and they just breaking all kinds of records. They had BB, the um, it's a famous. I don't know if you guys know BB's a famous Korean singer, and she's kind of edgy and stuff. And they got her doing like the commercial for Stellar Blade, and I was like,
Mhm.
what? So you're like, I mean, they're 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 just going all in, like they're just going all in into the this is a fantasy world, and yet guess what? Fantasy world where you know ladies can be beautiful and strong and powerful. You would think that would be acceptable, but D-Bud
D-Bot?
is right here on that one, right?
その通りです。日本語を勉強しなさい。それは、まあ、それとも、中国語が、also you should learn Korean because Korea is making a lot of good
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah, they are. It's good.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, 日本語を勉強しなさい。por favor, estudien japonés, please. Study Japanese because you actually need it. Japanese is a really good source of enjoyment. There's a lot of stuff that even Capcom, if you don't know, they made some changes to Resident Evil 4 to the remake because it was insensitive for women. They made Ashley have more agency because, of course, she needed it. They removed some of the jokes about her tits because they went woke. They are a bit woke on the Resident Evil 4 remake, and they may go really, really woke on the next game. So I no longer have faith on them, to be honest. But there's a lot of companies from Korea and from Japan that are still making really good games. I thought, no, I saw a couple, not even a couple of days ago. I think it was yesterday that Yoko Taro, the one that made Doi Tashimashite Carlos. You are welcome. Yoko Taro, the one that made the Nier Automata game,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He was giving
was
praise. Yeah. Yeah.
praising he was
Yeah. It was praising. Yeah.
praising Stellar
Stellar
Blade
Blade.
because he thinks that it's a really good game, that the designs are really good, and that the game is a wonderful game. Hey, Jesús Davila.
Hey, ¿qué haces, Lutz? See, now I can
Jesús
touch
o
it. Oh,
Yokoso.
yeah, saludos. And then
Yokoso,
now I can
maybe
touch
I'm wrong
both.
in there.
Oh,
どういたしまして、Carlos-san.
there you go.
But yeah,
That's what I'm talking.
uh, the thing is that there's still good material coming out. As I said,
Oh yeah,
there's an anime that I'm gushing about that I really love. There's video games that are coming out that are really good. There's a lot of good stuff. It's just America is no longer king. Isn't they are no longer making the level of entertainment that we needed, that we want, that we are willing to pay for. But other countries are. And that's the point that I want to leave this discussion in. I
right.
don't care what America does anymore because America stopped being America first a long time ago, and they are now Marxism first. So I don't care anymore.
It's sad. I mean,
Yeah.
there are some good things that are coming out with just they're few and
Oh,
far between.
Shogun.
But this is one thing that I thought was fun.
Shogun. You
I
should
don't know if
watch
you
Shogun.
saw this. Did you see this?
No.
Um, this is fun. I don't know.
Lord,
Okay.
I can't change.
Let me take out the audio because reasons. But this is this is a little bit of Americana on this one, which I thought that was fun. Can you see it? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And I thought that was really fun. So, dude, of course, is gentleman can't go out, but then.
Yeah. According to America, that's absolutely kosher.
This is fine now. So, but see, if the wrestler that came up with this little interaction was writing One Punch Man. Now I have faith in One Punch Man because this is what I'm talking about. That's hilarious. I mean, the- and I gotta say, hats off.
Gonzalo, if oh, if you're around, Gonzalo, this is what we need.
This is what we need. That's hilarious. Tell me that's
This is
not
the
funny.
solution. Yeah,
That's hilarious.
man. Okay, watch Shogun. Shogun is actually good.
Yeah, Shogun.
Is
Shogun.
Yeah, it has a lot of Japanese people working on it, so it actually took everything in a way moderate, uh, moderated uh, way. So their approach to Japanese culture is right. Their approach to even the part of killing that you will normally see that Americans try to hide from the Japanese culture is portrayed. It's an actual good series, but that's a lot of Japanese influence on an American thing. I watched the three word problem, the three body problem.
How was it? How did you like it?
It's
Yeah,
mediocre.
that's what I thought too.
Is they have a bunch of good approximations to everything, but they avoid talking about the math problem in general, and that's a shame because they are all the time rambling about Einstein, Einstein, Einstein. The three body problem is not Einstein. The three body problem is Newton. Uh,
No,
maybe
Carlos,
no, it's
don't
Newtonian
get crazy,
physics.
Pablo, because you don't want to actually have the stuff that's actually the stuff in the shows now because
General
it's
relativity touches upon
science is not real.
no, general relativity touches upon it, but the way that the mechanics work for general relativity are completely different. The problem is based on Newtonian physics. So they should talk more about Newton, and they never mention Newton once. That's the
That'll be
beginning of my
science.
issues with the whole thing.
But hey, did you
Also,
see Fallout?
they miss. I'm not watching Fallout, man.
You're not watching Fallout. You'll be disappointed at this though. I think if you're not watching Fallout, well, no, you might actually be
The last
happy.
good follow was Fallout New Vegas. There's
Well, they
nothing really
erased
for
that.
me
They
on
erased
Fallout
that. They
4.
didn't like it. But check
Then
this out.
I have no reason to watch it.
Check this out. So Fallout is being kept in Amazon from the number one position by Betty La Fea.
Dude, have you ever heard my rant about what they do on Netflix to avoid Peppa Pig and cartoons like that being in the top 10?
No.
There was a TED talk about how they were handling the recommendations algorithm for Netflix. And one of the things that came out on that topic was that the nanny series, like let's say Peppa Pig, Pocoyo, Bluey, all those kind of series, were the ones that were the most watched on
Right. Yeah.
Netflix
Yeah.
because the moms will set up the series on the tablet and give the tablet to the kid and just go and live their lives.
Right.
Maybe do an OnlyFans page. Well, why not? Uh, sad but true. So the main series and the main content watched on Netflix were things that they didn't want in the top 10. So they started to deboost them, and actually they changed the algorithm to avoid showing that reality. HBO Max or Max uh, is not doing the same. So most of the time you will get Peppa Pig, things like Betty La Fea, like The Nanny, like House MD on the top 10. And they will launch this new series that is incredible and everybody wants to watch, and it will be not even in the top 10. But Peppa Pig will.
Right?
So that's the, yeah, Betty La Fea going over Fallout, uh, obviously. I can see that.
So
Pedro el Escamoso
that's
too.
you know what? I know that a lot of people might not know, but Betty La Fea is one of the it's a Colombian soap opera, and it's literally it's one uh, like translated or like put into other shows all over the world. Like there's a Russian version, there's Greek, Japanese, Chinese. I
Mhm.
mean, it was all kinds. But I thought that was hilarious. I thought you would get a kick out of that.
So
But
you get an idea. Top 10 on Max right now is MasterChef,
yeah,
Extreme Couponing, The Sympathizer, The Promise, Massacre, The Nanny, House MD, Ninja Kamui, Woman, and Lado Oscuro. That's
right.
the top 10, right? They have invested so much on these other series, and those The Nanny and House MD are always on the top 10.
Yeah, like even like the top stuff on Disney Plus is like Bluey, and
Exactly.
Suits. That's nobody cares about this new stuff, but I know
People will
the
watch
Jesus.
what they
I
want to
had
watch.
I had my wife watch Betty La Fea, and she was like, "Oh, I really like this show. It's funny." Pedro el Escamoso, that is funny. That is funny.
Oh,
But
el
Pablo,
Pirulín Tin Pan.
let us know where we can find you. I know that I got your X. You can find you on X, right?
Yeah, I don't really interact that much on X because I hate social networks. They destroy people. They destroy the minds of people, and that's part of our current situation in society. But I'm on X. I'm also doing videos for mi message. I think is already out. The one that I did yesterday. So if you can watch videos on Minasech, you will see a lot of videos edited by me. Also, Tommy is editing a lot of videos, and I don't know how that man thanks all that work, man. I'm serious. He's a beast. But
Right?
yeah, videos on Minasech. Also on Fridays, we have
Yeah, I
a
see
show
that.
with Nick Weiser.
Boom. Nick
Yeah,
Weiser.
we are talking comics, and next month with Debot Martin we are going deep into Spider-Man from 41 to 60. So yeah, basically we are doing a whole artist run on there, and it's going to be crazy good. Other than that, I don't know, I'm everywhere. I appear sometimes in random places, and most of the time I'm working or playing video games or watching anime. So yeah, I will recommend you do the same. Avoid social networks. Is absolutely worthless. Is not something that you should waste your time in. But you know what you can do with your time? Watch Spice and Wolf. It's worth it.
Look, yeah, it's I'm gonna check it out. I do have it on my playlist, and hopefully I get to it. And you can check it out too. It's available on all different kinds of streaming services. I think Crunchyroll and stuff like that. But woo, thank you so much, Listen Davila, coming in late on
Jesús nos
the
ha dado para tacos.
gracias. Let's see. I don't know if
Esperas dinero para nachos. Play the nachos clip.
the nachos clip.
I swear people on India one day will take their revenge.
Right? One day it will happen. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, SW, for that super chat, and we're heading out. Thank you so much. Have a good one. We'll see you next Wednesday, right after Midnight's Edge. Peace.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
An outro?
We got outro. All right, let's do outro. Let's see.